look who's on the phone. Yeah, that's sickening what you did. You send me a picture of Rubio's jersey. Do you have something better to do than that last night?
Just trying to keep you informed, Dan. You said it was a nice little game? It was 2 for 4 from 3. That was a massive number to look at for Ricky Rubio.
That was a Steph Curry-like performance from 3 for him.
Steph Curry ain't got nothing on Ricky.
His name is now Rick Rubio because he's serious. He's not Ricky Rubio anymore.
Hey, that was the best game between the likely 13th and 14th seeds in the West that you're going to see all season long.
How shocking was it to see Kobe not get the last shot?
It was stunning because you could tell whether, Byron Scott said after the game that the play was designed for Lou Williams. I can't possibly believe that because the second Lou got the ball, you saw Kobe brush up against his defender and try to shove him off and clear some space to get the ball back. I got to believe that at some point that ball was supposed to wind up in Kobe's hands, but that's Lou. Lou just goes sometimes.
McLovin has Blake Griffin, and I have the rest of the field for MVP.
I'll take the rest of the field. It's not a knock on Blake. There's like 3 or 4 guys that I think are ahead of him at this point.
Like?
I think you start with LeBron, even though the back is a problem. Durant right behind him. If you watched Durant during the preseason, I was concerned about the foot coming in, but I think Oklahoma City did a really smart thing in being overprotective of him last year because he's got that same explosiveness off that foot that he had before. No worries, no minutes restrictions. And obviously Anthony Davis is now jacking threes at a reasonably consistent rate. I think he's right there too.
See,
and Ricky, of course. He's with 28 and 13. You can't ignore those.
Well,
numbers.
you can't. Of course, you can't. It tells me how bad the Lakers' defense is if Rubio went for those numbers. We're talking to Chris Mannix, the senior NBA writer for Sports Illustrated. Yes, Chris.
When did you become such a pessimist? It does take time.
I've watched his whole career.
It does take time for guys to develop, Dan. He's had some injury issues. He's clearly overcome them and is now ready to, play his game and get that max contract he so richly deserves.
Chris, when I'm a better shooter than you, and I'm talking about Ricky Rubio, I've got issues with my point guard. If I'm a better shooter than Ricky Rubio, then I have issues with him.
Okay, but 2 for 4. He's now a 50% 3-point shooter.
I want you to be honest. Am I a better shooter than Ricky Rubio?
It remains to be seen.
Just the fact that it remains to be seen.
In previous years, yes, possibly. This year, I would beg to differ.
I'm going to give you over 65 games for Ricky Rubio, over, under, and I'm going to go under.
Don't do this to me. Because the passionate Rubio supporter says over, the logical reporter says way under. It's history, but I don't know. You got to like the Wolves kind of to watch. They're going to be one of the most fun, bad teams you're going to see all season long because of how they play. Levine took another step forward, looks like. Shabazz Muhammad's okay. Towns quietly had a pretty good game, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they'll be fun.
Okay, the hot mess that you can't avoid this year, I'm going to put the Lakers on there. I'm going to put Sacramento on there. If you want to put Minnesota, anybody else that is sort of must-see TV because you're just not quite sure what's going to happen each night?
Crazy as it sounds, I might say Orlando just because, Skiles was such a maniac down there that they were so dysfunctional last year and how sloppy they played, the mid-range twos they took. Elfrid Payton couldn't throw the ball in. You talk about bad shooters. Elfrid Payton was as bad as it gets in the point guard position last year, but they're all young, athletic guys, too. They could have kind of a Minnesota flavor to them because they're going to put up some points and have some real highlight type of games.
We got Okafor coming up in a couple minutes. Not a bad debut for him against the Celtics.
It's like, Dan, honestly, it's death taxes and the Sixers having the Rookie of the Year, or at least the candidate, because, he's going to get so many touches on that team this year. I covered one of their preseason games towards the end, and there's nobody else that they can throw to. It's Okafor, and I don't know. Do you hope Nick Stauskas gets hot from beyond 3-point range? He's going to put up some massive numbers for that team this year. He's got great post moves, but he's going to put up some massive numbers this year.
thanks for trolling me on Ricky Rubio, and I appreciate that.
Again, your guys, they send you text messages all the time to update you on what's going on that night. I'm just trying to keep you updated on what's happening, past midnight.
But my guys aren't delusional.
Well, kind of they are. I mean, Paulie's bringing in leaves from Vermont. I mean, isn't that a little wacky?
Don't you have a girlfriend, or who do you love, your girlfriend or Ricky Rubio more?
Don't make me answer that.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, Dan.
Chris Mannix.
First of all, Spain is stacked.
Oh, God. Senior NBA writer for Sports Illustrated. Chris Mannix.